Yeah. So just to get into, so our an update with our brokerage. So I had a really good call with, so on our mortgage side, right? We work with United Wholesale Mortgage. We have our rep, and sorry, you'll hear my daughter in the background. Isabella, hey, a little more quiet, please. She finally found her princess doll. Um, yeah, so on the mortgage side, we have our partnership with United Wholesale Mortgage, UWM. And so our account representative has really been going above and beyond to help me and help our company, on both our license types. But he let me talk to his sister. He laughed when I said that yesterday in our mortgage meeting. Um, but yeah, he let me talk to his sister. So his sister, he really downplayed the value his sister adds and that she has and how intelligent she was. So she had worked for Microsoft and really helps them on Bing. So Microsoft, I believe, owns Bing, but helping them really understand SEO, how to market it to people who need SEO improvement and stuff like that. So she knows a lot about SEO, search engine optimization. And that was one of the questions I had was, I'm always getting solicited, as the broker owner for both of, hey, here's this. And it's always a bait and switch. Like they say, hey, we run a free audit of your presence on the internet. Next thing you know, they're telling me, oh, it's only $5,000 for me to build out your website. I'm like, wait, how do we go from you telling me a rating and like how to improve our presence online to you're building out my website for $5,000? Like, what? I'm lost here. And I don't know what's real or what's not real. So he scheduled this call with his sister. She is I think 33, independently wealthy, worked at Microsoft, helped them with their SEO, and then went and worked at a few tech startups that sold and did really well. And so she doesn't work. She just does some consulting for fun here and there. We talked for about an hour and a half, not her talking at us, but just like a conversation. Hey, I need to finish my meeting. For about an hour and a half, where she gave a lot of insights that was very eye-opening on how to really boost your website visibility throughout the internet. And it's pretty much, you got to do a little bit of everything and kind of become, and that's essentially what she said, is every company, including Microsoft, including Google, they're always trying to figure out what works and what doesn't, because no one knows, which should tell you a lot about internet leads, that when the provider themselves are like, we're still trying to figure out how to best create content for the end user that work, so at some point in the conversation, she stopped and she said, and I guess I should have started with this, but let me back up a little bit. Every company I've ever worked at, which was a lot of tech startups, their end goal was to always get referrals or word of mouth referrals, word of mouth recommendation, word of mouth referrals for clients, because at the end of the day, that was always the best customer. The loan to value for that customer, or lifetime value, LTV, for the customer was a lot higher. And she said, so if you have any way of generating, word of mouth referrals, which I'm kind of guessing in your business you do, that's where you should put all of your focus. If you don't have a way of just getting that, then you want to really put a lot of focus into SEO and online internet stuff. And that kind of blew my mind right then and there, where I just thought, wow, that is extremely eye-opening and kind of validating, right? That everything I've been kind of talking about with everyone has been around build relationships with people. So I had her for another hour and a half. I mean, we talked pretty late at night, talk about, kind of her higher level thinking, because she kind of blew my mind at, the level she thought. And her recommendation was, in any way we can, engineer opportunities where someone is going to refer you. So if I just say, hey, can you leave me a review? And if you know anyone ever looking to buy or sell, please think of me. You're not treating your business really professionally, and you're really just not optimizing it. So one of the main things we're going to be doing is on Lofty, there's a lot of features with Lofty that we don't use, and that's totally fine. One of the biggest ones we're going to use is we're going to be creating automatic emails will be going out when you move a client from pending to closed or past client. what's going to happen is we're going to send an email on your behalf. So it'll be you sending an email, and it's nothing bad, right? This is stuff that's designed to help you, so you don't have to think about it, right? When you're super busy in the month of December with all of the different holidays, and you've got a bunch of deals closing, and they're all nightmare deals like Viviana had, plus kids, plus, whatever, family members, all that kind of stuff. How do you continue just to operate efficiently? And you have to let systems and you have to let some automatic things work for you. Otherwise, things are not going to, otherwise work is not going to get done. The ball is going to get dropped. And I'm guilty of that too. So we're going to be setting up these emails so that all you have to do is, boom, I heard we closed. I take them from pending to closed. And then from there, eventually they'll move to past client. The nice thing about that is they're going to get an email that says, hey, please leave me a review. Here's and you can change, right? You can add and kind of adjust where you want the review. The main point isn't the review. What I like them to do is say, hey, and this is what she had recommended, this consultant essentially that I got to talk to, is when they leave a review and I ask them, hey, can you leave me a review? But do you mind also sharing it on your social media and tagging me? My brokerage will enter you into a raffle, and they'll sponsor your housewarming party or a like celebratory lunch at your work, or like a combination of both at your house if you want to invite all of your coworkers to your housewarming party. But whatever you want, if you want food, if you want some drinks, if you want games, our brokerage will sponsor that for you if you would leave me a review and post it on your social media. What does that do? That engineers, and that's the concept we have to always think about, is that now has engineered an opportunity and played a little mind game with them that, hey, you get to earn this, right? If I just say, hey, can you leave me a review? People are a lot less likely to leave me a review. If I say, hey, we'll enter you, I'll give you a $5 gift card to Starbucks. You just jumped up. I think the current statistic I saw on this other website was the chance of someone leaving you a review jumps up like 35%. If you make it a raffle, it's like another 50% jump in likelihood that they would do it. So, hey, if you leave me a review, you'll be entered into a raffle to win a $20 gift card to Starbucks. Boom, people are more likely to do it. So that's what we're going to be doing. And why are we doing it? Pretty much every single person who leaves you a review and posts it, or someone who says, oh, I really want to do a housewarming party, we'll sponsor it. I would maybe not going, McCooney sponsor, unless if it's $1 million client. But my thing is, I would rather engineer an opportunity where I am now getting you all in front of your clients, coworkers, friends, family, neighbors, where they're going to say, oh, hey, this is Chanel. Oh, how do you know Chanel? Oh, Chanel was my realtor that helped me buy this house. She's amazing, right? I'm putting them in a position where they're going to recommend me right then and there, right? A lot of you have had deals where you've closed, you've invited them to our client events, and they do or they don't come. This is going to be a way to really get a lot of people to recommend you. And that is what we have to focus on, is engineering an opportunity. So if you think of anything in your business or we just had our business planning session. The recordings got a little messed up, so I don't know if we're going to be able to post it and rewatch it. So I hope you took notes, but make a plan and think about, at any point in time, how do I engineer an opportunity for people to refer me? The same thing is going to happen. So with the pipelines, you can use them however you want. Everything is open. The only thing I'm going to say is your past clients and your sphere/lead pipeline. Those are people that whenever we do a quarterly event, we're going to be sending them an email invite. If they're in that pipeline, we will be sending them an email invite on your behalf. Don't be upset about it. It's just, there are some platforms. So before, I had everyone create their own Eventbrite, right? For our Easter egg hunt will be the next one coming up. Instead, we're going to create it automatically for you. You will have your own personally branded link to our event. So anyone who signs up, you get their information and get a report at the end that, hey, this person signed up and RSVP'd for the event. You can take that link and post it to your social media. That's the only thing I can't do is automatically post for you. But you will have that so you can share it with whoever you want. So let's say you go and your kids are in a soccer or something, and you find a way to get someone's email. You want to put them in the sphere/lead. That's what I would do. We have a lot of they're going to get those email invites. This is what we're teaching to a lot of the new agents that are joining, is to sit down and go through your email. Anyone and everyone go through yearbooks, whatever, add them in there. And that way we're reminding them, hey, I'm a real estate agent, while giving them something of value. Well, they're not in the area. Okay, that doesn't matter, because it's reminding them that you're an agent, right? Chanel has a guy who at some point he's going to pull the trigger and buy an investment property, and he's out in where is he? Oroville, but used to work with her. So I'm sure at some point she reminded him or let him know, hey, I'm a real estate agent. Use me. Maybe she invited him to an event. I know that when I looked back at a lot of my past closed deals, and even the referrals I got from past clients, none of them came to any of our events, but I kept inviting them. And when the current statistic is most people don't even use the same agent or loan officer, I think it's 90% don't use the same agent or loan officer, then I know I did something right, where they're going to refer me or they're going to reach out and ask for questions about buying or selling. So what did I do right? Probably that I invited them to these events and stayed in front of them. Not just that they see my posts on social media, because that's great too. So those are the two big things we're going to be implementing here soon. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for all of you. Sit down and just put people in those pipelines, and then you don't have to worry about it. You can just reap the rewards. With that being said, I also, I've built out basically a new agent checklist, because I'm having a lot of these new agents where they pass their test but haven't submitted their application, and so they're just sitting waiting. So I'm creating a checklist on things they can do while they're waiting. I'm going to be sending that checklist to all of you, because as I went to take screenshots of a lot of your profiles, I'm realizing a lot of people don't have a lot of things set up. So in Lofty, it's really important to set up your email signature. Lofty does all of the analytical studying for us on email signatures and their click rates, how they appear in front of people. I mean, companies hire people specifically just to read those analytics. Lofty does that for us. So go into your email settings, and I have the full instructions on this new agent checklist. Go through your Lofty and find your email signature and build it out, right? Add your link to your website. Okay, there's a couple things that I'm seeing across a lot of people. Those of you on the call, I think you're all fine, but a lot of people, I went onto your LinkedIn, your Facebook, your Instagram, and I think that was just those three, but I'd probably include TikTok if you still have it, X if you have that, and whatever other platforms there might be. You need to have the brokerage name, your license number, and then really you should be adding your personally branded website on there. We got rid of the AI tool that it automatically texts or emails people if they subscribe. I'd rather people just be browsing on our website for fun until they find something that they like, just like Zillow. Zillow, if I add myself, no one calls me until I click a button, request a phone call. So we're going to do the same with our website. But I went through LinkedIn, and I had a hard time. LinkedIn and Instagram especially. Facebook, it seems like no one has their license number. If you have your own business page that advertises you as a real estate agent on Facebook, then you don't need to add your license number in your bio or the brokerage name, because it's easy for someone to reasonably find it. But if you're posting things on your Facebook that are real estate related and you don't have a place where someone can find your license number, you're kind of opening yourself to some violations. And so I'll give everyone like 2 weeks, because I'll be in Hawaii next week. So no meetings next week. But I'll have to reach out and tell everyone, even though you're an independent contractor, I don't want anyone getting fined, because we'll pass that off to you. But please add your license number. You have to say the brokerage name. Why? I don't fully know, but there are agents that I've met who throw a fit when people say Augustine Realty, because they'll say, you're not a real estate brokerage. Not that Chanel does that. but just keep in mind that you have to put the brokerage name, your license number, and I think it's important to put your link, right? So you have a call to action. Vanessa has a nice link tree where she has all kinds of links, I think. But make sure you're having your own personally branded website on there. That was some of the main stuff. Now, for agents watching the recording, because the ones on the call right now are not guilty of this, I am totally fine people reaching out and asking for questions. I prefer, and I know some of you are mentors, but I prefer people to call or email me and say, "Can you review this offer? Hey, can you? I have some questions about how to handle this negotiation, or how to look at this, or I've got a listing coming up. I'm trying to figure out price. Can you help me out?" I love doing that. I'm totally fine. The part where I get really frustrated and where I think you need to have a really honest conversation with yourself, and it may not even be the person watching this recording, is when you've never done a CMA before and you just went on Zillow and you already had a talk with the seller, and now you're coming to me and saying, "Well, Zillow said this." And I'm sitting here thinking, I've done 3 different classes on how to do a CMA, and all of the recordings are online, and I've sent them out to you all. So before you meet with a client, if you don't want to call me and ask me for advice, watch one of our recordings on how to do a listing presentation, how to do a CMA, how to write an offer. But please do not go and talk to people about it and then come to me and tell me, "Hey, I just talked to the seller. I did a brief listing presentation, and I told them that they don't have to pay for buyer's agents' commissions anymore." I never said that. And you've missed every one of our meetings, and it's extremely frustrating. And it kind of puts us in a position legally where I'm wondering, hey, you're going to cause some problems if you're running around telling people that. Also, you probably just lost the listing. So I just really encourage people, reach out to me, please. I'll tell you, hey, before I have a 2-hour talk with you about price for this listing, please watch my CMA video, because it's going to really teach you a lot. Like I took a lot of time to put that together. And I'm sorry, but we have a lot of people a lot of people are referring leads to us on the mortgage side. And I really appreciate that. Like I really, really do, because you don't have to do that, right? That's the law. But I really appreciate that you're sending us loans. That takes a lot of focus, and that takes a lot of time to educate people. And if I'm repeating myself in CMAs, it's really hard. Now, don't get me wrong. Like Vanessa has a listing, I think, coming up here soon, where it's an unusual listing because it has a second unit. It's in a place that's really close to Lake Tahoe, so you're kind of getting that possible vacation home type feel, but it's also really close to the freeway. That's what I love. I love when someone says, "Okay, I need help with this because this is unusual." I'd love to look at that with you, give you a second opinion. It's when you've never done a CMA before. I'm going to send you a video. Please don't be offended that I'm sending you a video. I need you to watch the video, because I'm having people get a little offended that I'm not taking the time to talk with them, but they are at zero, right? They've never even pulled up the MLS and taken a look at it. I just need you to do a little bit more initiative on your end. Like I said, everyone on the call today has never been guilty of this. You all have done it perfectly, where you've watched the video, you've gotten a general understanding, and then you're asking me questions, or you have like really specific questions, because every house is going to be very different. It's when I'm having to say, "Here's how you log into the MLS. Oh, you don't remember your password and username? Okay, this is how you find," like, you could have figured that out in the video and then come to me and said, "Okay, so I kind of have the listings, but I have no idea what I'm looking at. Some of these pictures don't make any sense. I don't think they're relevant to this house. What are you seeing?" And that's when we can talk about it. So anyone on the call have any feedback about that, or any videos that you all think that it would be nice for us to have in our archives or anything like that? No? Well, great. No class tomorrow. I believe, yeah, no class tomorrow. There's a couple things. A lot of you are getting listings coming up. If you need a listing presentation, please email me a brief bio. Use ChatGPT to write it if you need to, and I can make you a listing presentation really quickly, or I can even send you the link where you can edit the one we already have pre-made. But I really think I would get a listing presentation put together. If you've never written an offer or it's been a while, maybe do a practice offer if you're watching this recording and send it to me to review. I will be in Hawaii next week, but I'll have my phone. I like working early in the morning there because I feel very relaxed. Just if you call, you may want to text or email me first before you call because I may not just answer the phone. And I've been getting 20 spam calls a day, and I cannot figure out who is the one selling my information, and I can't seem to get unsubscribed from it. And it's ridiculous. It's different phone numbers. 20 voicemails a day. So my voicemail box might be full. So please text or email me first. Yes. Any questions from any of you? Anything any of you need?